Concept 3, using cross products to solve proportions. So you can set up a proportion in a number of different ways. All right, your proportion is always going to kind of look like this, where you've got one ratio over here and another ratio over here. Say this is a miles per hour problem. So you're going 20 miles every, say, 3 hours. All right. If you're going to set up this proportion, you need to make sure that whatever you have, whatever value or variable is in the numerator over here, has to be miles. Okay. So if this is 20 miles, this one has to be, maybe 100 miles. All right. Whatever your other ratio is going to be. Okay. Or maybe you don't know how many miles it is. Okay. You might not. And that's fine, but that's going to be your variable or your X miles over, 10 hours or whatever. Okay. So your units have to be the same. All right. Your units within a ratio will be different, but within a proportion, they have to be the same on the top for both numerators and the bottom for both denominators. All right. So let's do a couple samples because there's another, because you can set them up in a couple different ways, there is a trick to making them easy to solve. Okay. These are all going to be proportions where we're missing one value. All right. So here we have Riley makes $150 in a full 8-hour workday. So our units are going to be dollars and hours. Okay. How much will she make in a week if she puts in 42 hours? So we could say she has 8 hours and she makes $150. Okay, and then my other side of my proportion, we've got to have my hours over here, my 42 hours, and then my X dollars. Okay, and that works. There's nothing wrong with this proportion. However, it does take an extra step to solve, and we'll look at why. Because the other way I could set it up, or one of the other ways I could set it up, is I could say that it's $150 every 8 hours, and that is equal to X dollars every 42 hours. Okay, this also works. Both of these proportions will work. The difference is going to come when you start trying to solve them. Okay, you're going to solve them kind of the same way. You're going to multiply across. All right. Basically, I'm going to take this. I'm going to multiply both sides by X or X dollars. All right, and this will cancel. Okay, and then I'm going to have X times 8 hours over $150. All right, this gets kind of messy doing it like that. All right, once I'm at this point, then I'm going to have to multiply both sides by $150. Right, that'll cancel that. And I have 42 times 150, but then I still have X times 8, and I'm going to have to divide by 8, divide both sides by 8, right, and divide both sides by 8. So if I divide this by 8, this is getting kind of messy, but these will cancel. So now I'm left with my X is equal to 42 times 150 over 8. Okay, so I'm able to do it, but there's a lot of steps in there. All right, if you set it up so that your variable is on the top, your variable is one of your numerators, it makes it much easier to solve. And the reason why is when I'm isolating my variable, all I have to do is multiply by 42, multiply by 42. And let me erase some of this so it's clear. All right, these cancel, and I'm already there. My x, my value, my variable is isolated. Okay, I get to the same place, right? 42 times 150 divided by 8. Okay, same answer, all right, equals x. Same thing, but this was one step, and this was like 3 steps. All right, so when you are setting up your proportion, if you can, set it up so that your variable is in the numerator position. All right, and now we can come through, we can grab our calculator, and we can solve this. 42 times 150, and then divided by 8. And it looks like if she puts 42 hours in at $150 for every 8 hours, she will make $787.50. 787.5. Okay. So set it up with your variable on top to save yourself some time. Let's look at another one. All right. Pool drains 20 cubic inches in 45 minutes. How long will it take to drain the other 390 cubic inches from the pool? Okay, the way I approach these problems when I'm trying to set my proportion up so my variable is in the numerator is I start with what am I trying to figure out? Okay, well, I'm trying to figure out how long it's going to take to drain. Okay, so that's going to be minutes. All right, so I'm going to start with x minutes, and that's going to be the top of one of my ratios. Okay, and I don't know how long it's going to take it to drain 390 cubic inches, so that's going to be what I have underneath my ratio here, and I'll just put cubic inches. All right, and then on my other side, make sure that your units stay on the same level, 45 minutes, and 20 cubic inches. All right, and now let's go blue. Now I'm going to, it's kind of like cross multiplying basically, but you're only cross multiplying one side. So I multiply this side by 390, this side by 390. Okay, those will cancel. And I have 390 times 45 divided by 20. 390 times 45 divided by 20. And I have 800. So x minutes is equal to 877.5. And that's it. Okay, nice and quick, one step and done. Okay, and that's going to be 875.5 minutes. Okay, make sure that you keep your units straight. All right. Okay, last one. All right, Miss Booz is running the Lost Lake Marathon. She covers 2.3 miles in the first 25 minutes, and we're assuming she's running at the same pace the whole time. How long will it take her to finish the whole 15.9 mile race? Okay, well, what are we looking for? We're looking for time again, right? How long? How long is it going to take? So x minutes over the 15.9 miles. Oh, and I got minutes and miles, so I'm going to have to be careful with my units. All right, and then for my other ratio, keep my minutes on top. 25 minutes, and 2.3 miles. 2.3 miles. Okay. Multiply by 15.9. Both sides. 15.9. Cancel that. And then let the calculator do its job. Get that whole thing there. 15.9 times 25 equals divided by 2.3. And we'll round it off a little bit, but it looks like it will take her, or it took her about 173 minutes. Okay, because that's going to be equal to my x minutes. And we can convert that to hours. Let's see, it looks like divided by 60 is going to be 2 hours, and take off 120, 53 minutes. And that's how long it took Booz to run the Lost Lake Marathon.